Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to a News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited. I'm Joseph Lopez. Let's take a look at the headlines. The Prime Minister signs on to the United Nations draft resolution on terrorism while in New York for the 69th General Assembly. Greater safety for the local maritime sector is expected as Trinidad and Tobago hosts a maritime risk management conference. And local business owners are urged to utilize TNT's bank of skilled individuals instead of importing foreign labor. Thank you for joining us. Top of the news. Prime Minister the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar is in Manhattan, New York, representing this country at the 69th United Nations General Assembly. Her time there has been very fruitful, with Mrs. Persad-Bissessar addressing the General Assembly earlier this week, celebrating this country's Republic Day holiday on Wednesday with nationals and sending Republic Day greetings to the nation.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says Trinidad and Tobago's history has played a key role in the decision to support the United Nations draft resolution on terrorism. She makes this comment as she addresses the 69th United Nations General Assembly in Manhattan. The Prime Minister says the country's history is evidence that no country, despite its size or state of development, is immune to the scourge of terrorism.
Many will recall that over 2 decades ago, Trinidad and Tobago was able to successfully combat the attempts of a terrorist group to overthrow the democratically elected government of the day. This global scourge has witnessed an unprecedented rise in recent times and has resulted in new levels of barbarism, which have shocked the conscience of members of the international community. Terrorism threatens the foundation of the rule of law and undermines the inviolability of the right to life and other fundamental rights and freedoms enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, as well as our various human rights instruments, nationally and internationally.
She adds that the country is eager to sign on to the resolution as it is necessary for all countries to cooperate in dealing with violent extremism.
Whilst my government has expended tremendous financial resources and has trained a cadre of military and law enforcement officials in an effort to protect our citizens and secure borders and our industrial installations against terrorist acts, I am mindful of the need to strengthen our capacity to counter violent extremism, which could undermine our democracy and our way of life. And so, in keeping with the relevant provisions of this very historic resolution, Trinidad and Tobago will be seeking to take advantage of cooperation mechanisms with other member states.
While abroad, Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar also celebrated Republic Day. During her Republic Day message, Mrs. Persad-Bissessar notes the strides made by the country in our 38 years as a republic. She explains that the improvements in society, such as the baby care grant and the recent increase in the minimum wage, have led to a better nation and a better people. The Prime Minister adds that despite all our country's achievements, it is the people that remain as a constant source of hope and inspiration. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar stresses that development lies in continuous action and says that we, as a nation, must always strive to continuously improve the democratic state of our nation wherever need be. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
The role of the military in Trinidad and Tobago is evolving, this according to President His Excellency Anthony Carmona. He points this out as members of the Defense Force display their skills and commitment at the annual Commander-in-Chief Parade.
Brave members of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force displayed their gallantry as they braved the elements to show their respect to their Commander-in-Chief, President Anthony Carmona. The men and women charged with guarding and defending the nation put on a show, highlighting some of their capabilities and skills. Speaking at the parade, President Carmona praises the military for their ability to adapt to the changing world facing them. His Excellency says there are new and dangerous threats facing national, regional and global security, which are forcing the role of the military, even here in Trinidad and Tobago, to evolve.
Security forces worldwide, including the military, have been forced by the changing and dangerous environment to undertake new roles and functions, redefining their relationship with civilian governments and populations. Need I say the obvious, ladies and gentlemen? Even to the foolhardy, that the battlefield is no longer exclusively in a distant land. In this volatile environment, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force is in no different situation from any other mainstream professional military organization. From the commissioning of the Defense Force in 1962, the terms of reference continue to evolve. As the national and international threat scenarios have changed,
President Carmona says the varying nature of the work the Defense Force does has led some to a misunderstanding of the real purpose of the unit. He says the functions of the Defense Force and the men and women in its ranks embody the true sense of patriotism.
they have been called trained killers and killing machines. These and other similar misplaced terms would have been insulting if they were not demonstrative of a total lack of appreciation and understanding of what the Defense Force does. I need to remind all that integral to that role is their deep sense of country, often defined as patriotism.
He adds that the level of dedication and commitment exhibited by the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, both at home and abroad, is staggering.
Troops from our Defense Force have been deployed to Grenada, Jamaica for hurricane relief. They have also been deployed under difficult and dangerous circumstances to St. Vincent and the Grenadines for counter-marijuana operations, to Colombia for humanitarian demining operations, and to Haiti for peacekeeping operations. They have also assisted us up and down the Caribbean with security operations in support of the Cricket World Cup. At home, they have provided critical assistance with disaster relief, search and rescue both at sea and on land, and assistance to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service as part of aid to the civil power duties.
The President is congratulating the Defense Force for its efforts in a time where he says the family unit is quickly becoming a thing of the past. He highlights the Civilian Conservation Corps as a great example of the force instilling good values into young people and steering the future of the country. He is meanwhile reminding the public to do their part in aiding the Defense Force in its duties of guarding and defending the country, as crime is everyone's problem. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
We'll take a break. You're with News 4. Thank you for staying with us. Greater safety in the local maritime sector is what is expected to come out of a seminar that deals with maritime risk management. This as Trinidad and Tobago aims to make advancements in the maritime sector, which is globally competitive.
Marine Consultants Trinidad Limited, in collaboration with Tideland and the University of Trinidad and Tobago, hosted a maritime risk management seminar on Tuesday at the Hyatt Regency Trinidad. The objective was to provide awareness of ways in which the risk of collision at sea can be mitigated, particularly with regard to vessels coming into contact with offshore oil and gas structures and collisions in Trinidad and Tobago's ports and harbors.
Marine Consultants was founded in 1971 by two Trinidad and Tobago marine pilots and master mariners, and over the years has expanded into a customer-focused, employee-driven organization, a one-stop marine shop that focuses on keeping marine operators operating. Our relationship with Tideland, which has spanned 4 decades, has developed through the years to allow training and the transfer of knowledge to our sales and service team. Together with Tideland Signal, Marine Consultants has pledged to continue to support and provide solutions to marine stakeholders which can help preserve the asset integrity of navigational aids and ensure that Trinidad maintains maritime commercial viability in a global market.
The seminar was seen as a form of preemptive action to address several of the issues that may be faced while on duty.
Traditionally, new safety regulations and best practices have been developed after a marine incident. However, the team of Marine Consultants, Tideland and UTT hope that this seminar is in itself a mitigation tool to raise awareness in the hope that additional navigational barriers can be implemented. Our team is committed to continual improvement and are supported in this quest by our partner Tideland Signal, one of the world's leading innovators in navigational aids and lighting. Their advancements in this field have enabled a greater potential to assist the ship and shore-based crew to navigate and monitor vessel activity in near coastal waters where there is greatest risk of collision and/or groundings. Our journey today will speak to the regulatory and legal requirements of aids to navigation and will then move into the risks and adverse conditions which ships' officers can be faced with in restricted waters. We will then progress to understanding what navigational tools are available to help navigate safely and reduce risk to persons, the environment, and the economy.
The University of Trinidad and Tobago provides a program in maritime studies which can both benefit from and add to such seminars.
She is very proud and very happy that industry partners are taking such initiatives, because through initiatives like these, this is how the sector will progress, and we encourage future collaboration of this nature with the university, and because the university subscribes to what is called a triple helix approach, an approach to governance and development in the form of a partnership between government, industry, and academia.
Similar seminars are expected to continue from this as Trinidad and Tobago's oil and natural gas, maritime and port sectors stand to benefit tremendously. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Use local labor. This call comes from Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, Senator the Honorable Fazal Karim. Speaking at the Metal Industries Company Technology graduation ceremony at the Center of Excellence in Mokoya, Minister Karim urged businesses to tap into Trinidad's bank of skilled trained individuals rather than source employees from outside.
Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training Fazal Karim has responded to the call of employers who raised the issue of labour shortage in Trinidad and Tobago. While delivering the feature address at the Metal Industries Company Technology graduation ceremony, Minister Karim told business owners that government wanted data, explaining that though businesses complain of labour shortages, they do not provide numbers to support their claims. Minister Karim said with a total of 3,200 men and women graduating in training programs in hospitality, masonry, carpentry, plumbing, welding and industrial craft, talks of labour shortages seem unreal. The minister added that this was why his ministry also started an employers' roundtable discussion where he meets with employers and businessmen to discuss skills and training needs.
What I want to indicate as well is that I'm going to go through the country and Tobago as I've started my own initiative called the Employers Roundtable Discussions, where I'm going to invite the employers to tell me. Of course, we're going to also invite workers' representatives, members of the business community, to tell us what is this labor shortage you are having. We want to remove that labor shortage. We must fix, as they say, our business first, and our institutions must respond to the needs of our country.
Minister Karim told employers there was no need to import labour when skilled graduates were available right here. Meantime, to the graduating class, the minister said his ministry would soon be producing a news bulletin to assist them and other nationals in finding jobs easily.
I also want to advise you that coming shortly, I'm going to produce a bulletin called the Jobs News, which you can pick up at your supermarkets, at your banks, at City Gate, at areas of high traffic, where you can find out what are these job opportunities and where you can go to study to ensure that you can access those jobs.
Felicia Wilson, Mon News 4.
More news when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back. Final preparations are in full swing as the Trinidad and Tobago senior women's football team seek historic berth in the FIFA Women's World Cup Canada 2015. Fittingly, the Soca Princesses were the first to benefit from the latest partnership between corporate TNT and the TTFA as they got some much-needed medical attention.
According to TTFA Media, 28 members of the Trinidad and Tobago senior women's team underwent medical screening as the first set of screenings by the Health Net Caribbean for all national teams took place in Palo Seco on Wednesday morning. Currently engaged in a live-in camp at the Palo Seco Beach Camp facility, supported by Petrotrin, team captain Maylie Atten-Johnson and her teammates also received their personal TTFA Sports MyCard, which will afford them benefits at several local merchants. Medicals were conducted on all players and members of the technical staff. The MyCard Sport Medical team conducted a series of on-site examinations using Lab Medica's medical mobile unit. It was announced last Friday that MyCard Sport will invest over $3 million in the next 4 years into the TTFA to ensure that all players of various men's and women's national teams are at peak performance and health while representing the red, white, and black. In addition, all MyCard TTFA cards sold to the public will provide a $20 cashback to the TTFA for youth and overall player development. The Lab Medica Group MyCard Sport investment will provide all players with medical screening comprising a doctor's fitness checkup, blood tests such as blood count, iron test, cholesterol and sugar, a heart test, an ECG, a lung test, spirometry and urine testing for various medical conditions. Most of these tests will be conducted on-site using the Lab Medica's medical mobile unit. The MyCard Sports team also networked with other providers for free optical and nutritional services. The Trinidad and Tobago women's team, under American-born head coach Randy Waldron, is currently preparing for the CONCACAF final round of World Cup qualification for the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup in Canada. Trinidad and Tobago opened their final round campaign against the United States on October 15th in Kansas and will then face Guatemala and Haiti. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
Thank you, Wayne. More news when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back. I'm not a burden, I'm just a child. This was the underlying theme at the recently launched Wayne Meister Foundation. The foundation, dedicated to fight against the mistreatment of youth, hopes to make its presence known in the wider community. Its founder, Inspector Wayne Meister, stresses the need for protection of the nation's children.
In his feature address, founder of the foundation named after himself, Wayne Meister, made clear of the objectives of his foundation. Youth, being our most valuable asset in Trinidad and Tobago, needs a voice and protection. Dedicated to the fight against youth who are mistreated in our nation is the Wayne Meister Foundation.
I just wanted to take it a little further in addition to what I normally do at in my profession as the information officer of the TTPS. I wanted to actually bring it home more personal, get more personal with these activities. So I decided to get involved, throw the idea, and get other persons involved in the fight against our nation's youth. We need our youth. They are the future of Trinidad and Tobago, and if we don't protect them now, then that's the end of our future.
The Wayne Meister Foundation exists to create a higher level of awareness for victimized children, to expose the various crimes against children in the country, and most importantly, to establish meaningful solutions to these wrongs. Wayne Meister laid out one of the main objectives of his foundation, to produce a television series featuring real victims. This series would stand to give voice to the voiceless children and also encourage others to come forward.
We're going to establish a television series entitled Exposure with an X. And that it will be something like real TV, reality TV as you know it, where we're actually going to get real life victims, persons with real stories who will actually tell their stories and bring it home to the public. There's nothing like telling a story. So when you tell a story and indicate to persons your experience, you will have an idea of what that person went through.
Representative of the Ministry of National Security, the Director of Law Enforcement Policy, Keith Reynolds, noted their eagerness to partner with such an organization in this journey to protect our youth.
The Ministry of National Security certainly has a responsibility to protect and comfort all citizens, young and old. And therefore, the Ministry of National Security pledges its commitment and support to your foundation. And certainly you will hear much more about that in the coming days.
Ministry of Gender, Youth and Child Development explained the extent to which their ministry is dedicated to fostering the aspirations of children in Trinidad and Tobago. Advisor to the Minister, Carleen Suku, made known the objectives and aims of the government and hopes the Honorable Prime Minister has for the fruitful development of the nation's youth.
The Ministry of Gender, Youth and Child Development, over the past 3.5 years, has focused on developing the necessary frameworks for effectively managing the gender, youth, and child development portfolios. In this regard, the ministry focused on, we're hoping to partner with the Foundation in policy formulation, institutional strengthening, improvement of service delivery, and building a robust monitoring and evaluation platform to measure the growth and address gaps which may occur to ensure that success is achieved.
The Foundation calls on all sponsors and other NGOs to accept the invitation and partner with them to help fight for children of our nation against human trafficking, gangs, sexual predators, school violence, discrimination, abandonment, poverty, and poor living conditions. This trend of wrongs against children must be stopped. The Wayne Meister Foundation has stepped forward to curb it. Shade Allen, News 4.
With health issues such as hypertension and diabetes on the rise in Trinidad and Tobago, the Health Ministry has devised another plan to get citizens off the couch and into the savannas.
From 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, the Queen's Park Savannah was transformed into a street party, but it was not the traditional carnival. It was in fact a day of fun for the entire family. This day of fun is another method being used by the Ministry of Health to encourage healthy living among citizens of this country. As it is, health issues such as hypertension and diabetes are on the rise in Trinidad and Tobago, and the government, through the Ministry of Health, has vowed to curb these. On Saturday, various health and physical instructors went through different exercise routines with participants. These participants were grouped according to their ages in the various events. Speaking with the participants during the Family Day, Health Minister Dr. Fuad Khan urged citizens to make their health a priority.
What we are really doing is promoting healthy lifestyles, activity, and what's your diet. So I would like everyone who's here today to take the message forward about lifestyle changes in Trinidad and Tobago. We have too many people suffering with hypertension, cardiac diseases, diabetes, having amputations of their feet. So we have to stop this. Our dialysis problem is growing. The only way out of this is healthy lifestyles, activity, and proper eating habits.
Throughout Saturday's event, participants were awarded prizes for their efforts. Some won hampers, and for the children, scooters and bicycles. There were also booths set up around the tarmac where free health checkups and advice were being offered. Felicia Wilson, More News 4.
And that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited. Remember, you can view a repeat of our newscast weekdays at 6 a.m. and feel free to visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/OurTV4. And be sure to also visit our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TheGISLTD. I'm Joseph Lopez. Thank you for watching.